Before we start the video, can I just ask, who the heck made this? Like, why does this exist? This was one of those moments where if I had to see it, so do you. But who the heck put Sid on Aaron Judge? I mean, this is scary. What's going on, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB Recap Spring Training Edition. We have a lot to talk about today, so we're not going to waste any time with an intro. However, there is a second video coming out later today. We're going to predict the entire 2021 Major League Baseball season. Now, we have some breaking news. Forrest Whitley just went down with an arm injury. He was supposed to fill in the void that was left by Framber Valdez because he fractured his finger a few days ago. Well, unfortunately, Whitley can't do that, so the Astros kind of hit the panic button. They went out and signed Jake Odorizzi to a 2-year deal, I believe, and this just leads me to believe, what are the Angels? Who do they think they are? Do they really believe that Shohei Ohtani is going to throw 200 innings, or that Dylan Bundy is going to have a sub-3 ERA, or Andrew Heaney is going to be the next Chris Sale? They need more depth in that starting rotation. I mean, they legit had one job, and they botched it. So the Astros and their fan base, they can feel a little bit more comfortable because with JB down and Framber Valdez could be out the entire season. A lot of people were saying and playing doctor yesterday that they think that Framber Valdez is only going to miss a few weeks. Well, they're now getting a second opinion because his fractured finger looks that bad. And when you have surgery on your finger, you're done for the whole year. Now, if it comes out that Framber Valdez is only going to miss a few weeks, I'll go ahead and take that in the chin, but it's not looking good. Hence why they went out and got Jake Odorizzi. So if they did not sign Jake, I would be on the side that maybe it's not as bad, but Valdez, again, because of the signing, I'm thinking he's gone for at least a couple months. Now, before we get into the actual spring training recap, I want to talk about two very controversial items on the agenda today. We have Jose Canseco coming out on Twitter saying he wants to speak his truth even more, and he said that Mark McGwire corked his bats before every game. It's getting to the point where Jose Canseco, does he even know what world he's in or what year it is? It seems like he doesn't even know his own name sometimes. I mean, I've met him once at a car wash, and in person he seems like he's normal, but on Twitter, he's talking about UFOs and that aliens have made contact before. I don't know what he's doing. Now, moving on to another this is very controversial. So a former Marlins executive came out on the Dan Le Batard show, and he pretty much eviscerated Albert Pujols for lying about his age. So he's pretty much inferring that Pujols is 44 years old, not 41.
We knew that he was not the age that he said he was. We had all the information. And what's funny is now here we are in 2021. And you see how it played out for the Angels. Not one person in baseball, not one executive who believes that Albert Pujols is the age that he says he is. The amount of fraud that was going on in the Dominican back in the day, the changing of names, the changing of birthdays, it would blow your mind.
I'm not coming out here and saying that Albert Pujols is 44, but that's what a lot of people, I guess, in the game of baseball are thinking, that he's pushing 45 years old, and they're talking about his lack of production and how it kind of lines up with Father Time. I don't know. Albert Pujols seems like a pretty good guy to me, and I mean, if I had to guess, I believe he's 41. Shohei Ohtani was back on the bump yesterday, and he looked fantastic. Do not be a hater. I had someone say, but Fuzzy, he walked someone. Okay, Shohei Ohtani has not pitched in a couple months, but we don't really care about that right now. We're trying to see how fast his fastball is, and it was 100 miles an hour, and in 1.2 innings of work, he had 5 strikeouts. So every single batter that he faced and got an out on, it was via strikeout. That is an amazing sign of projecting him for a positive return back to the mound in 2021, which again, maybe that's why they did not choose to pursue Jake Odorizzi. I don't see it happening. I'm sorry. I think Shohei Ohtani is going to have a really good season, but there's no way that he throws more than 150 innings. That's just, the trend has shown us that's not possible. Another pitcher that made his return to the bump yesterday, Eduardo Rodriguez of the Boston Red Sox. So he got the virus last year, and unfortunately, that developed myocarditis, so he had to sit out the entire year because his heart, it was not improving on a day-to-day basis, but finally, he was healthy enough to throw 46 pitches, and this is going to be a huge addition back to that Red Sox rotation. They also added Nick Pivetta. I got that wrong yesterday for whatever reason. I was thinking Nick Pivetta Pivetta was Spencer Howard. So Nick Pivetta is on the Red Sox. Spencer Howard, who was pitching yesterday, I got them mixed up completely, which I shouldn't, because Spencer Howard is the real deal, as evident by this. Look at this paint right here. So I got this from Pitching Ninja over on Twitter. Absolute paint. And also, speaking of the Phillies, Andrew McCutchen went yard, and Bryce Harper hit a 440, maybe 50-foot bomb to the opposite field. There are so few amount of players in Major League Baseball history that make it look this easy as a lefty going the opposite way. Chris Davis in his prime, Barry Bonds, Jim Thome, Josh Hamilton. Those are just the few names that I can think of off the top of my head. But I mean, dude, is Bryce Harper about to have an MVP season? I'm here for that if it does happen. Does anyone out there watching today's video believe that the Phillies can be sneaky and actually surprise people and make the playoffs? I don't think it's going to happen, but if you do, let me know. For the first time since becoming a champion, Clayton Kershaw was back on the bump. I haven't seen him with short hair in quite some time. And if you're brand new to the channel, you might not know, but back in the day when I was a little bit skinnier, everyone used to say that I looked like Kershaw. Like, I don't see it, but I was getting 1 to 2 comments every single day like, hey, you look like Clayton Kershaw. Maybe you see it. I'm a little bit plumper nowadays, so I don't see it anymore. Now, the one thing I want to question you guys on is Clayton Kershaw, he's a champion. So going into 2021, is he going to have less pressure on his shoulder, knowing that he has pretty much answered the biggest question about him? Can Clayton Kershaw get it done in the World Series? So maybe he goes back to just being the best pitcher in baseball. He's a little bit older, but he's 33 years old. He could still have a Cy Young Award season. And also, one more player I wanted to mention on the Dodgers, Chris Taylor had a massive grand slam yesterday, and to me, he is going to be a huge player because they lost out on Kike Hernandez and Jock Peterson. So because Chris Taylor has had an 800 OPS the last few seasons and he can play anywhere on the diamond, he is going to be that guy that can be versatile and really fill in the void. Let's say Justin Turner needs a day off, or Gavin Lux is struggling at the plate because he's still trying to be a big leaguer. Chris Taylor, he's going to make sure that the Dodgers can kind of sit back, relax, and he's just going to get the job done. If we're talking about getting the job done at third base, there's no one better than Matt Chapman. Yes, Nolan Arenado is a generational defender over there at the hot corner, but in my opinion, Matt Chapman takes the cake as the best defender over there, as evident by this play. I mean, he just makes it look easy. And also, Matt Olson is now up to 6 RBIs. He's in second place for spring training. So if Matt Chapman is back and healthy, if Matt Olson across the diamond is healthy and he has a 900 OPS, to me, the A's are very scary, but I believe it's so much closer than people are making it out to be. The Angels versus the A's, because the Angels offense, they are firing on all cylinders in spring training. They look devastating. The White Sox got triple played yesterday by the Mariners, so I'm going to go ahead and shut my mouth and just roll the tape.
And you lost your job. There's a bouncer to third. Throw's going to go home for 1, relay to first, 2. And here comes Anderson trying to score. And he is out, and how about that? A triple play.
DJ LeMahieu is 4 for 8, batting .500 already in spring training. Gleyber Torres is hitting the ball the other way, which is a great sign because he was horrific in 2020. He had 3 home runs in 42 games. I mean, he was not Gleyber Torres. When he first came up, he really was, breaking the mold of being a second baseman or even a shortstop because he was a horrible defender, but he was so good offensively that they were really willing to risk it all in effort to score a few more runs, because if he had an error, he would hit a home run 2 innings later, and boom, it kind of canceled out. I really hope Gleyber has a bounce back year because he's good for baseball. He really is. Why is Joe Musgrove making his debut for the Padres not on TV? Can you answer me that, Major League Baseball? Please. There's not one single clip of him actually striking people out. He threw 2 perfect innings. I can't find it. All I have is him warming up. So apparently they have enough time to record him warming up, but when it comes to him actually pitching and making his debut, I can't find it. It's so frustrating. I'm sorry. But the Padres are facing off against the Dodgers today, so I'm excited to see what Trevor Bauer does against that Padres lineup. Fortunately for him, Manny Machado is not in the lineup because we all know Manny Machado, he's Trevor Bauer's dad. All right, everyone. Well, that does it for today's MLB recap. Thank you all so much for watching. Remember, there is a second video coming out today. We will be predicting the 2021 MLB season. To end today's video, we have some pretty cool college clips. We have a bat flip and a handshake. I don't know what it is, but it's cool.
There's more. Jacking one. Deep right. Get out of here, ball.
Always in a ball game when you're a team with power. And you can see him stay behind that baseball. He knew it when he hit it. He just wanted to see how far was that going to go.
Emotions bubble over as ETSU's frustrations are relieved. Buccaneers finally break through here in the ninth.